Well, he's got to throw it to somebody, of course. I've counted 16 wide receivers on the roster, something like that. And I went through the recruiting rankings recently because I thought, okay, if the approach is just we're going to throw as waves of wide receivers after Donovan McCulley and after a few guys that have proven a little bit at this level, like Frederick Moore, we're going to throw waves of wide receivers out there and see who proves it in August camp. Andrew Marsh is obviously a top level guy, but he's just going to be a true freshman. That somebody should surface out of those. If you've done any kind of recruiting, now the recruiting rankings outside of Marsh and a couple other guys, Simpson comes to mind, are not outstanding, but still within the range of Michigan wide receivers from the recent past that they've been able to at least get enough out of. I don't know, maybe the style of offense has stunted the growth and development of this room. So anyway, I want to hear your take on the possibility that the wide receiver core can be competent.
That's the big question. That's my biggest question right at this point. And they will swear up and down like it is worlds better and like we're just explosive. We're out there making huge plays. And there's like some small videos that you see. There's been 2 clips of Samaj Morgan making incredible plays. And Samaj had told me earlier in the offseason, he's like, I fully just castigated Kirk Campbell and was like, I ain't no bubble screen guy. And that's all he had me out there doing, running bubble screens. But I don't know. Like they love Donovan McCulley. They feel like he's like the second coming of David Terrell. And that's like who he kind of has been patterning his game off of since he arrived at Michigan. But I don't, outside of him, like you mentioned Anthony Simpson, he hasn't been mentioned a lot, but he's the most prolific receiver in terms of like actual accomplishments on the roster. A lot of people look at him and just kind of shrug because they're like, UMass receiver, how good can he be? But I mean, he started at Arizona and under Jed Fish, a guy that knows a little something about offense. We've seen that before. But outside of that, it's just a big YOLO, right? We'll see. They talk about, Fred Moore and Samaj. I mean, I want to see it. We've seen a little bit more from Samaj than Fred. Like Fred really kind of only had the one good game. And it wasn't like it was like 1 touchdown, 3 catches, 39 yards. That's somewhere around there against Alabama. I mean, great competition to do that against. But outside of that, not a lot. Samaj has kind of shown that he can do it in some bigger moments. He, had the punt return against Iowa in the Big Ten championship game in 2023 and had the catch against Texas when Michigan was down by 1 million in the second half that he went out and got it. And then otherwise it's like you're looking at a converted quarterback outside of McCulley and Kendrick Bell, but it is his second year. Can Kendrick Bell be that guy? He's another big, tall target. And I don't, I'll never count out someone from Ronnie Bell's family after seeing what Ronnie Bell could do. Then you're just like, okay, Channing Goodwin, they call him Mr. Reliable, but he had 3 catches out of 14 targets in the spring game. Yeah, there's just really kind of the freshman in some ways. Like Jamar Browder, it obviously has been the talk of spring ball. Had 2 drops in the spring game. Andrew Marsh being the higher ranked guy. It's kind of hard to really figure out like who's really going to be those guys. That's where I have the biggest question marks. So the funny thing is don't tell Michigan fans that on the message boards because it seems like every week they're like, oh, this other national person said they're questioning the wide receivers. It's like, oh, I'm questioning the wide receivers. You consider me an ally. I am also questioning it because we haven't seen it. And as much as they've told us like, this is night and day, this is different. I swear we were hearing the same thing. I haven't gone back and found the articles, but I do remember Greg McElroy on his podcast last year saying like, what if the Michigan offense is more explosive? Because I do remember that being the narrative. I don't think I wrote it. Maybe I did, and I just can't find it because it sounded ludicrous that was the talking point. Like we might actually be better now that we lost JJ McCarthy, Roman Wilson, Cornelius Johnson, Blake Corum. Really? You think you might be better? I don't know. So when they're talking now about that fact that they feel like, no, we are better, and we are deeper. Well, I want to see it because when it's like your depth is all guys who we just really haven't seen do it at all. It's a little different. Like when I talk about like the depth on the defensive line, for instance, like we've seen Rayshon, Benny, Trey Pierce, Ika Wana, Eno Etta, and at other schools, we've seen Damon Payne and Trey Williams. And we know that trajectory. But when it comes to the wide receivers, like, oh, we've got so much depth. And it's like, okay, well, Samaj had like 150 yards last year. Fred Moore had about the same. And then you're talking about Channing Goodwin and Marion Stewart and a bunch of guys that didn't have either any catches or they had under 100 yards. So it's kind of hard to say. So, yeah, that was a long answer, but that's the biggest question mark for me about this team because, yeah, Bryce has got to have to throw it to someone too. Quarterbacks can create, but if you can't catch the ball, then what does it matter?
Please like and subscribe here at the Voice of College Football. Check out Isaiah's work, of course, on Wolverines Wire and Locked On Wolverines daily right there.